Hey everyone, and welcome to Mythic Plus Academy. This is a series where I'm going to be diving into the ins and outs of pushing rating in Mythic Plus from the perspective of a player who is relatively new to Mythic keys. And by relatively new, I mean I'm not a noob. I pushed keys last season, and I hit around 3,400 rating on an Arcane Mage. But this season, I really wanted to see if I could go that extra mile and potentially even push towards title by putting in just a little bit more work. So in this series, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be documenting my whole process from like researching dungeons, my character, learning little Mythic Plus tips and tricks, and also, of course, just practicing the runs myself. My hope is that I can learn while doing this, and hopefully I can help you guys learn along with me. I also plan to be streaming most of this live on Twitch, so if you guys want to check me out, feel free to click the link below. So first thing is first, what I really need to do is I need to figure out what character I want to play, or characters. Right now, what I'm leaning towards is I'm really having a lot of fun playing this Brewmaster Monk. Now, I like the idea of playing a tank. Just from my experience pugging an Arcane Mage, I felt like I had a big impact on the group. I did a lot of priority damage, but I also felt like I didn't have a lot of control over the route. And oftentimes what would end up happening is like tanks would do these crazy pulls that just didn't really feel like doable or necessary even. And we would wipe. And I didn't think that that was very fun. Also, once I got into the higher keys, the dungeon that I got really stumped on was Cinderbrew. And in Cinderbrew, it was annoying because I had so much priority damage, but I didn't have a lot of like cleave. So when the totems spawned, for example, in the hallway, for anyone knows and they know, it was just really hard for me to kill them. Like it was hard for me to focus those down, and oftentimes they would end up going off. And basically, that's where I ended up capping out. You notice I was never able to actually time that Cinderbrew last season. How do I showcase my season stats? Yeah, you'll notice I have times 16s on everything, but just that Cinderbrew I couldn't do. I probably did like a dozen keys of this 15 just trying, or the 16 trying to get it. But I just couldn't do it. Now, I'm not stupid enough to think that, like, if I do play Brewmaster, I'm not going to run into completely different issues as a tank, namely groups having lower damage, groups not focusing the mobs that I need, groups not really getting kicks and stuff like that, although I can handle a lot of the stops, I'm assuming myself. Sorry, I just punched my mic. But I do think that it'll end up being a little bit better off. I think I'll have more control of the dungeon. I also just think it'll be fun to be able to plan some routes and figure out what, like, these top people are doing and how I can kind of control the pace of the dungeon as the tank. Now, the other option that I have that I think is pretty valid is I do have my Elemental Shaman, and this is a good option because this is what I'm playing in Raid. I don't really have any intentions of Mythic raiding on my Brewmaster. I could do some heroic clears to get any heroic trinkets that I think are necessary. For example, this Branded Ceaseless Ire seems important. But it may be kind of annoying that I'm not able to get these sweet ticket items on my Brewmaster since I won't be raiding on this character, really. That is a small detail, but it could end up making a bigger difference at the higher levels. Maybe at that point I could convince my raid to let me bring it to a fight or something, but that seems like a pain in the butt. Finally, I do have a Demon Hunter, and this is kind of just here just in case I don't end up liking one of my tanks. So I have the Brewmaster and the Demon Hunter at the start of the season. Although I played Demon Hunter last season and I did pretty decent on it, I think that I'm leaning towards Brewmaster. I think that it's just more fun. I also like the idea of leaning more towards a physical comp this season. Not for any particular reason. I really don't know anything about high-end Mythic Plus, so I am kind of just talking out my ass. But I do like the idea that, like, on my Brewmaster, I feel like I need to do things differently than I do on my Demon Hunter. Because my Demon Hunter, I feel like I could just pull the entire dungeon, and I have, like, Sigil of Silence. I got chains to group everything up. Whereas on my Brewmaster, I feel like I needed to do things just a little bit more technical, and I think that's fun, you know? I need to LOS more. I need to plan packs a little bit better. I also do an insane amount of damage on my Brewmaster right now, so that's kind of fun too. So this is where I'm leaning right now. I think I'm going to be starting out with Brewmaster, and then in the future, if I need to change things up, I don't think it'll be too hard to go from one to the other. So this is what we're starting with. We're going to be starting with our Brewmaster. Now, what I want to do in this series is I don't want to just queue into Mythic Plus over and over and over again. I think that people do that and you can see them grind it out. What I really want to do that I don't think that people do enough of, and I don't think that I've done enough of, is I want to get better at doing like more research into dungeons and see what other people are doing. So, for example, a dungeon that I know that I don't really have mob count on right now is Ara Kara. I always get to the end of the dungeon and I need like an extra 8%. I don't really know exactly what happened to the route, but the one that we were running previously just doesn't work. And I feel like I've pulled a bunch of extra stuff. I want to see what Brewmasters are doing in Ara Kara and how I can kind of implement that into my own play. So what I'm going to actually do here is I kind of want to go check. I don't even know how to do this yet, by the way. So all run timed leaderboards. Let's see that. Let's see what Ara Kara. Can I sort by that? And it looks like Kira did a 17 Ara Kara. So we don't have a video for that. Is there anyone where we do have videos so we can actually see what's going on? All right, so we can't actually find a Brewmaster VOD. If we can find a Brewmaster route, though, that would also be sick. So this guy, it looks like he had the route available and a replay. So let's click this one. So I actually have no idea how this works. Add to Mythic Plus replays, view route. Let's also see what talents he's running, and we can kind of compare that to ours. So he's going Shadowpan. I actually do not play Shadowpan. I don't know any difference between the two, but we might give that a shot just because, I mean, if they're playing it at the top level, then it's obviously good. And then where do I see the replays? Okay, so this is their route. They run in. They normal, 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 normal. Get these guys. This guy isn't pulled yet. This one's easy to pull, I've noticed. If you run too close to the right, you can actually pick them up. But they get these crawlers. And then what? They pull in these guys as well. I think this is a pat right here. Flyer, attendant. They get these guys, this guy. So there's 2 attendants. And then this guy with lust. This is a pretty crazy pull, I think, for a pug sometimes, just because you have the 2 attendants. Not entirely sure how I deal with this on brew. What I have been doing is I will use my paralysis on one of these guys normally, and sometimes I'll even like ring a piece it away so it doesn't get like accidentally broken, and then I'll like kick this guy as I'm coming in. I think that works sometimes. I don't have a VOD of this. I wish there was a replay. It says there's a replay, but I don't even know how that works. So I might just have to kind of like do my own thing here, but we can totally guess off of this, I feel like. Okay, and then 2. So we get all these guys. This is pretty normal. This guy does pat. That's group 3. What is he pulled with? Is he pulled with anything? Or is it just that guy alone? Is there a way I can see like the pulls on the right side here? It might be just this guy alone for like cooldown reasons or something. But and then he comes down here. This is the pack that I don't pick up. So he gets this one, and they take this one alone. And then they go over here. They pick up this one. They go into the mini boss. Then he goes across. Takes all of these guys. These crawlers is something that I've also brought into this pack. It feels like this pack is pretty easy for the most part. There's just the 2 kicks. You got the attendant and you got this guy. As long as you have any poison dispels, which Monk does, you're pretty good here. And then he groups all of these guys for 7. Oh, this is with the boss too. So there's the 1 crawler. So this will be 1 poison in there. And a bunch of like little nothing mobs. So this is really nice too, because you notice he has the Havoc Demon Hunter in his party, which has like really good funnel, as far as I know anyway. So this is something I've tried to do, bringing in these smaller guys. I did consider bringing in the Crawler. I think the Crawler can make it kind of scary for a less experienced group if you don't get that Dispel right away. But luckily, because I'm a monk, I think that I can just do that alone pretty much, and it won't be as much of a concern. I think he only throws out 1 poison at a time. I could be wrong. But say, for example, you get that poison overlap with like the big explosions that the boss does, like... that could be pretty bad, the Screech. Okay, cool. Afterwards, we're coming over here. We are going to the left, it looks like. And I like this because, again, percentage seems to be an issue for me in this dungeon. And I've noticed that if I go to the right, there's not really anything extra I can grab. I pull all of these guys, and then I pull this. But, like, the only pack that you could possibly consider has, like, a big, like, one of those big beetles or whatever. Or, like, this pat right here with a bunch of, like, web mages. And it's like... do I want to pull that additionally if I'm going to the right? But going to the left, it looks like you can pull all this stuff, pull everything over here. Looks like there's a blood guard that's not included here. I'm not exactly sure how you would skip this. I guess you can maybe go around it, is what they're thinking here. I'd love to be able to see that in a replay because it's not included in the pull, so that's a little confusing to me. Unless this is the one that spawns from the stag shelf, potentially, but that would be weird. I'm pretty sure there just is a blood guard in this pack, so maybe they go around it. And then, yeah, they pull these guys. This is also really nice because these blood guards suck. And if you go to this right way, you actually end up pulling 2 of them. Oh, it looks like... does he pull this? Blood guard, bloodstained. Or is it just highlighted or something? Because for some reason. I don't think you would actually pull those. I think that's the whole point of going left here, is to avoid those. Okay, cool. And then it comes in here. So he's going to pull this entire left side. No, he pulls the right first. Takes all the carriers, takes all this junk. Then he's going to pull the left side. And then he pulls this into boss with the Overseer. Interesting. Now, for our purpose, we definitely don't need to do that. just so we're all on the same page here. This is what they're doing to time a 17. Right now, I don't even know if I timed a 10 in here. I mean, maybe I have, you know? But this is definitely going to help us get a good start here looking at this route. I'm actually... can I save this guy? I think I already saved it, maybe. I can copy the string, and then I can import it. Okay, that's cool. So let's log into game. I'm going to import this route. Maybe I can give like an Ara Kara view. Okay. Okay, he's not a monk.
Yes, but we
Let's pull up Kira's VOD though, and we're just gonna see. We'll go through this real fast and just see kind of like any little tech that we might miss here. I don't know if his route's gonna be the same or if it'll be similar. I'm assuming it'll be kind of similar, but it probably won't be the same. So you notice he's leaping in here. Now, if it's like our route, he's gonna pull all of this stuff here. The attendant looks like it's soothed out there. It's sapped. And that's what I was saying. So I was saying I use paralysis on one of these just because they can get kind of scary. Having the 3 kicks in there plus like the fear. This guy web bolts and he fears. This guy is the resonance, and then he also has a kick. He has a web bolt or whatever. And then that guy would also have the resonance of the web bolt. That's a lot of kicks to have to get in. I also think that on the resonating whatever, I think you're supposed to use more of a stun or like some sort of disable because that'll cancel the cast. So you don't have to actually have to kick it, which is kind of nice. But I think that a lot of times people will kick those, and then it ends up making it so they don't have a kick for a web bolt or something like that, you know? So that's something that I've kind of noticed here. So totally normal. They're going to kill all this. Looks like they lusted here to get it on cooldown, and then they're going to bring this attendant maybe into the next pack. So they shroud, and they're pulling all this stuff. Cool. Did they skip this attendant, or does this guy come in later? That's what I'm wondering. And I think that this is the same pull that we do. What, they get these flyers, they get this guy out here. Yeah. So this is the same pull that we had. And then they take these dudes solo here in the route that we have. And I'm wondering if they're going to do that as well. It looks like they're pulling this pack first. Maybe they pull it into that pat. They do. So they're taking that into the... Oh, they're going to the mini boss too. Yeah, that seems like a lot. A lot of poisons going out. They have the poison cleansing totem. They have the druid, I believe, can dispel. The hunter can dispel himself. So like this is doable. I think the rogue obviously is probably safe. I think that he has something that he can do to cleanse it. Maybe just cloak if anything, you know. So they do that whole big pull. Now, if you don't have any poison dispels in this group, that pull's probably really scary, is what I imagine. Or if you only have a few, right? Okay, right here, they're pulling the whole platform. And I'm pretty sure they're caught up on percent pretty much now from what our route was doing. They just got to pull that pack into the boss. So after this one, what they're probably going to do, if they're copying the same route, they're going to go over to the other platform. They're going to get the one spider with a bunch of like flyers and crawlers and stuff, and they're going to pull that into the boss. So he's running over here. That's all these guys. So he just grabbed the one flyers there. He's grabbing these guys, and then they go into the boss. So they're not getting the big spider. And this is just for funnel mobs right here. That helps the assassination rogue, I'm assuming he is. And then, yeah, nice. I don't think feral is too much funnel, if any. They might have some. I don't know. Not a feral guy. And you notice this is the strat that a lot of people do in Ara Kara. I see people do this wrong, so I think this is actually good to showcase here. This is something that I knew about. You can just stand in front of the webs here, and you actually don't need to move. So basically, these spiders, what they do is they fixate on people. So you notice these guys, they got like little eyes above their heads. So as long as the DPS aren't on like the other side of the boss, the spiders are actually just going to fixate on the DPS. They're just going to tank them, and they just stand here. And this lets like the DPS stay within range of the boss. So like if the spiders are here, the DPS just get to hit the spiders here. And then if you're melee, which is like most of our comp, they can just immediately turn and they can start hitting the spiders then. And like sometimes you can get cleave, sometimes you can get funnel from these things, which can be super nice. So like say for example, you're an arcane mage. This is kind of nice because you can just sit behind and you can just like cleave them. So that's pretty cool. And they drop puddles together, and you know, so they're going to move. There's the webs over there again. So he's going to come over here. I'm pretty sure the whole group's going to position right here again. You can see they're all come over. They're using Spirit Link. That's a lot of damage. And then they're doing the exact same thing. And this is just really important for this boss for like uptime, you know, because otherwise you're losing so much uptime running across the room to go hit the spiders and then running back. And then it just takes forever on this fight. And you can lose a lot of time, or you can save a lot of time if you do this correctly. So that is nice. Coming over here, they're doing the exact same thing again. And that fight will repeat. Okay, now we're going to see they're probably going left. Let's see if they do skip that big beetle. So they're fighting the mobs, These guys suck. Okay, they pull this right pack. They're pulling the left pack. They do get one beetle in. What in the world is that? That's chains or whatever? That effect is crazy. Is that blind? Never seen that before. I guess that's blind. Cool. Killing beetle. Pulling this pack. And that's nice to know what they did with that Hulk or the beetle right here, the sentry or whatever. Is they just used some sort of like disable on it, so they don't even have to worry about it in the pack. I think that makes it a lot easier. If it's like out of the way and you don't want to pull it into it. I think that they pulled it away because there's a pat right there or something. And then disabling it makes it so like that's not going to get broken. We don't have to think about it. Oftentimes I have runs that like maybe even get bricked just because this cast goes off. And it's a very scary cast. So just making sure that like you don't even have to worry about it. It's not particularly hard, I feel like, to stop, but like making it so you don't have to worry about it is so nice. Yeah. Okay, I don't actually see the Hulker in here unless that was the pat that they pulled, which is entirely possible. So they're not pulling that right pack with the sentry right there. Pat's coming in. Pulling it away from them right now, just to finish these guys off. 2 assistants. And then he's going to go into this pack here. I think that lets the rogue stealth too. Kind of important for assassination. So notice how he exits combat here. A lot of people maybe wouldn't do that. But I know that rogues like to stealth, so maybe that's the reason that they do that. And then he goes in. It might feel safe to like roll into a pack with like some mobs low HP. But I also know that like sometimes when people do that, it ends up creating issues. So for this, if they do it with like the wrong type of pack, for example, if it's like a web mage that's still alive, if that guy doesn't die, he might get an extra web bolt off. He might end up getting a volley off. The extraction strike, maybe that ends up hitting the tank in the back or something if he's running away and he dies or something. That could be bad. Maybe that's silly. I'm just throwing out ideas, but doing this pack pretty normally. This pack isn't too scary. The mobs don't really do anything, so I think that double pulling into it makes sense. Grabbing these guys, again, kind of nothing mobs. They're a little annoying for the tank, but aside from that, they don't really do anything. And after they kill the beetle here, you notice he's rolling into boss. So this is kind of nice. And again, this gives a bunch of funnel, but also these mobs don't really do anything. So like after the beetle's dead, there's not really any risk of this like being a problem for the group, I don't think, as long as these die within like a reasonable time frame. I think that it should be totally fine, you know. Oh, they do have a death right here. This is something I've been trying to practice. He's standing over on the right side of the circle, and that way when the frontal comes out, the group has more room to like work with. So he pulled the beetle towards the front right here for the frontal. I don't actually know if this matters too much, but it probably just conserves a little bit of space. You know, saying that he's like backing up. He could be trying to get away from these two. Maybe these are like pushing in that direction. Maybe that's how they work. So he's trying to bring the boss away from them. That could also be possible. Grabbing this mob, getting a kick on it. Trying to drag it with the boss so he can cleave it. New one's out. He taunted it. And he's keeping the boss pretty much right here the full time. I'm not sure exactly what the reason is. This guy spawned like right here. I don't know if that's always like a spawn point for them. You notice this guy comes out like literally right here. Is that normal? Is that where they always spawn? Okay, so it spawned over here just a little bit. Maybe they always spawn in this kind of area right here, though. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, and once again, you see this finishes, and he pulls it exactly back to the same spot. So I'm trying to figure out why he does this. My guess is it's the ad spawn, but I have no idea. Yeah, another ad spawn right here. That would be my guess. So we'll go with that for now. So he's pulling the two sides. I've seen this before. He's going to go all the way down the left right here. It doesn't look like he grabbed any flyers with this, and I'm assuming you don't want to. The flyers can be kind of scary in my experience. They just kind of dash in and one-shot people a lot of the times. So maybe that's intentional right there. I think without the flyers, this pull is pretty safe for the most part. You do have to worry about your tank getting slowed here, but that is dispellable now, so it's actually not as bad. Are they going to go into boss here with Lust? I think that they might. I wonder if they grab the flyers with the boss. Probably because they pat like right behind the boss arena. Which could be kind of scary, potentially. Now they do a little bit of extra damage, which could be scary also with dispels, but I think that their group is fine on dispels. Yeah, he's looking for the flyers right now, it looks like. Maybe he's marking that so people don't go over there. That would be possible. In case they aren't getting the flyers in their group. They haven't lusted yet. Maybe they're waiting on cooldowns? So Ascendance is up in 8. That's not Resto Shaman. We don't care about him. Yeah, BM's Hunters aren't up in 26. Convoke's up in 2. So we're seeing Lust right now. Or we're waiting for the BM Hunter cooldowns, maybe? No, he popped CDs, so probably not. Not sure what we're saving for. Maybe we're doing a big pull afterwards. I guess the reality is they only get one more Lust in, so they kind of just use it for whatever they need. So I'm stupid. This is something I've been trying to do, actually. You'll see him leap out here. I've been trying to time my Transcendence just because I think it frees up a puddle for other people. There's a lot of like communication that has to go on if you're like all 5 grabbing puddles. Whereas like having people who could just like not do that seems kind of nice. So him leaping out there is actually pretty nice. So they kill the boss here. Doing pretty normal stuff. And they're going to do this left side pull. This is a pretty normal pull, but they lust it. So, I mean, like, it's not... I mean, they lust here because there's nowhere else to lust, right? But this pull isn't particularly scary. I think it's just more efficient because there's, like, more mobs and stuff, I guess. And that's interesting. You notice it looks like they avoid all of the flyers together, right? Do they ever kill any flyers in this last room? Because that might actually be pretty nice. Those flyers can be scary. Maybe they kill the flyers with this guy? No, they just... Oh, they're doing triple attendant. I guess they only need 3 kicks, though. Huh. Or these guys aren't in attendance. What are they? What are they called? Now, this is a crazy pull to do if we're doing it at a pug. Just because I think the 2 kicks already is pretty tough. So the 3rd kick is probably going to be pretty scary. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, now that we've taken a look at that a little bit, let's log in. And we'll try to do what we can. Okay, cool. We can come here and Ara Kara, and then let's import route, and boom, baby's imported. Okay. So let's look here. They do skip this Blood Guard. I don't know exactly how they do this. It's a Stag Shell, Assistance, Stag Shell, Web Mage. So I'm interested in where they pull this pack. I can only imagine they pull it here, but this Stag Shell becomes an issue then. Maybe they come in here, they kill the Stag Shell, and then they pull all this into the corner when they have a good timing on the Blood Guard. That might be what we try to do, but I don't know. Couldn't be crazy. What key do I have available? I have a 10 Dawnbreaker. Let's go find an Ara Kara. And what do I have timed for Ara Kara right now? I have a 11. Okay. So do we want to try to push to 12? Is this timed? Yeah, it is. We could try to do a 12 Ara Kara. This is an Arcane Mage and a Feral. This one looks like a pretty physical comp. We could just look for a 10 to practice too, also. That is totally fine. This one has a Marksman Hunter, a Destrolock, Disc Priest, a Fury Warrior, Elemental, Demonology. This seems like a pretty good comp for us. And also not bad. Okay, cool. Oh, and then let's also take a look at that build that he was running. So he's playing Shadowpan. We can copy this. You think I could swap in time?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice. We made it. All right, we're playing Shadowpan for the first time. It is a 10, so I'm not too particularly worried about this. But so what we're going to go is we're going to go in here, grab these crawlers. Grab these crawlers. Grab these guys. And we're just going to stop here because I'm pretty freaking low right now and I'm already worried. We'll get some threat here. Okay, maybe not. I believe in us.
Sidestep.
All right, not bad. kick that.
Sidestep.
Not my best gathering here, but not terrible, you know?
Sidestep.
I can't stun this or anything, so I actually don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Oh, God. I ripped a diffuse right before that happened.
Sidestep.
But, oh my God. I gotta get in there.
Sidestep.
Okay, not beautiful by any means, but we did get the job done. Awesome. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're pulling these guys, these guys, these guys. We're not getting the pad.
Potion is ready.
Get this kick. I'm going to try to keep ripping dispels on these guys just to help them out. Oh my God, Shadow Pan is doing an insane amount of AoE. I didn't even realize. I do not reach these numbers when I'm playing Celestial, so, you know. That's cool, at least. We'll have to see if my Celestial AoE is a little bit better. Pulling these guys here. And you know what? We're going to call an audible here. Let's pull these into the boss here. I think just because it's conveniently located. I don't know why I'm questioning the experts, right? But I feel like if I try to pull that other pack with this right here, with this pug, I think it's going to confuse them. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Ripped a little heal on that guy. Helped him out a little bit. I don't know if that's the best way for me to get threat there, but it worked, I guess.
Sidestep.
These dispels on these guys. And then I'm going to ping myself just so they know that we're going somewhere else, just because it might be kind of confusing.
Potion is ready.
There's so much damage, dude. What the hell? Oh my God, that is crazy. This is gonna sound stupid, but it's like just like having the right build that somebody else is using is really nice. Like the build I got was from like Wowhead or something, right? Like it's not like it was like a bad spot to get a build, but like, man, knowing that this is the build that they're running and I'm doing an 11 million on a pack like that is kind of crazy to me. Like, okay. Because I was not doing that damage.
Potion is ready.
So we get the kick on this guy, and then we're going to run in here, grab those guys. I'm going to wait for everything to group before I use my keg.
Sidestep.
Hit a dispel on the priest just because he's probably more scared. That poison bolt.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
I am dispelling those a little late right now, I feel like.
Sidestep.
Oh, poor guy. That's okay. He respawns while we gather.
Potion is ready.
We actually don't have any funnel here, but that's okay. We can roll in the boss here. Now, because Pugs don't really know this strat here, so I'm not expecting anyone to do that. But if I mark it, maybe they'll like stand there or something. I don't know. I'll just keep the boss like relatively close, and then I do have Ring of Peace in case we ever get like scared about them bringing them in. Like right there, I could like Ring of Peace that away. Now it's a little bit of a waste in the sense that like I would like to use that in the next one, but I mean, it is what it is, right? I just want to be safe, rather safe than sorry. So yeah, I can pull this a little bit closer here. Do a little keg there. A little bit of a risky leg sweep right there, but I think it works out. Definitely not something that I have to do, but it'll make it go a little bit smoother. I think it's good to practice too, you know, like... It looks like my single target damage is about the same. Well, I guess it's not all single target. I probably got a lot of cleave off of those initial ads, but... And my Ring of Peace is back up, as you're noticing right there, so... I can actually ROP that if they get close. I mean, I'm just going to do it to be safe. This boss probably dies before the next set or around the time of the next set, I imagine. Maybe I can move him out a little bit, give him more room for the onslaught. I got some extra ads in here. That's okay. Let me roll over here. Hit. Dispel on that guy. And yeah, we kill the boss. Not bad. Not bad at all. Get this emissary in here. Cool. Alright, I'm not using my Celestial Brew or whatever that is. Shift 3, I think it's bound to. Celestial Infusion. I always forget. That's a button I didn't even know existed because my weak aura wasn't updated and it wasn't on my bar initially. So this is the pull that I think we do. Get a kick on that guy.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
That's so hilarious to me that I just swapped my build like right before this. I was like, I'll give this a shot. I'm doing like just bonkers damage on some of these packs. Okay, so the beetle is padded away. So I was talking about how pulling into a pack is kind of scary sometimes, but we're gonna do it right here. Can we skip this beetle is the question. I just want to see where he pats here, I guess. How close does he come here? Can we go around him is another question, right?
Potion is ready.
That's exactly what I was talking about with that web mage back there too, is the funny thing. This is kind of funny doing this with a pug, but I'm so down for it, dude. So kill this web mage here. Because they're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I'm like, dude, I don't want to pull that guy. He's so annoying. Okay, on a little bit of a clock to clear this pack. Luckily, I bought my CDs, dude. Kill the web mage and we can leave. And they pulled these assistants in with this pack right here. We can take that guy. And we also get those blood workers over there in a second here. This group's doing really good with their interrupts and stuff like that to make those sentries not a problem. Web mages too. They've been doing an awesome job.
Sidestep.
And we're going to roll into the boss here.
Sidestep.
And I'm going to keep them here just so they can get uptime early on here. But I am going to back these up here just a little bit. Because this is where he tanked it. The ads come out around this area, it seems like. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3 is where they just have the chance to spawn. There's the web mage like that. Look at that. That's so easy. It's like, this is why it's nice to watch it, you know? Because, like, I never would have gotten that from... oh, he's dead. From just watching the route, you know?
Sidestep.
And do we have a B-res for this guy? I think we probably should, right? He's way out there, okay.
Sidestep.
And again, just trying to hug the right side of this ring here. I'm going to tank that for a second. That's okay.
Sidestep.
Okay, let's see where the web mage spawns here. I've had my potion up this whole time too. That's bad. There's the web mage right on top of me. Cool. Ah. So they can bait the charge too. So it looked like, I think that's what his group was doing, is they were baiting it to like the sides here so it doesn't go super far. Because you notice it's harder for me to group them up otherwise.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
Oh, he's in the thingy.
Sidestep.
This boss is like secretly difficult, I feel like. Like, I don't know. Those clouds hit hard.
Sidestep.
And they're like kind of hard to avoid sometimes. I think for a hunter probably. Oh, he's playing survival. I didn't even realize. Still though, I mean, yeah, it's just tough. I'm going the wrong way. Okay.
Potion is ready.
I don't actually think that we take the flyers right there, but I'm not sure. Dude, I ended this pack doing 9 million compared to the other people. That's so funny.
Potion is ready.
I'm gonna ping this one. I don't know if they know that that means that I get it or if somebody else got it. Okay, sweet. They both got him. These guys are the goats. Pop diffuse here just to be safe. I'm a little scared. Man, is the cooldown on my weapons of order shorter in the Shadow Pan? I feel like it's up a lot. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I actually needed the flyers at all.
Potion is ready.
Oh shit, that's not good. Use. Pop every CD. Try to get thread on all these. I should probably be dispelling somebody else first because I don't really actually take damage from all that, but or like taunting these things in, I guess.
Potion is ready.
Yeah, we didn't need those flyers in the first place. Okay, that's cool. I'll pop diffuse here. I got a lot of dots on me. Just a little scared. Kill the pack! Kill the pack! Oh, dude, we're so close to a +2. Oh, man, just a few seconds. And we got a friend request, dude. Oh, man. What a great way to start off the series. All right, let's see this trinket that we just got. I think it has some synergy with our thing. Overall, Mythic Plus. Trinket. Harvester's Edict. Other trinkets. While it's fairly underwhelming by itself, the trinket has a hidden interaction with the Harvester's Edict. Pull, interdiction, pole arm. When both are equipped, each will gain a 25% increase in proc rate. Turns this trinket into a much more potent but not outstanding damaging option, providing you allow its orbs to detonate on enemies rather than grabbing yourself from. We could give it a shot. I think that our trinkets right now are kind of bad anyway. So let's like let's go to raid bots, and I'm just gonna sim this real fast. So this one has the Harvester's Edict trinket simming just slightly below our Warp Claw. I'm not sure if that accounts for the thing though. Is my chest also not enchanted? I should do that. Let's run it just for memes, right? Because apparently there's that hidden interaction, so we give it a shot. I got really lucky my first week on this character. I got my Bis weapon just out of vault. I had one vault slot. I wasn't even planning to play this character as much as my Demon Hunter, but then I got that, and I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. We do sacrifice the leech on that guy, but that is totally okay. And then what am I enchanting this with? Crystalline Radiance. Does anyone do not that? I feel like everyone does that. So we go to Dawnbreaker. Oh, okay, so it's 1:40 basically if I can reduce the cooldown enough from this weapon or from this effect right here. Reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds for each affected enemy to a maximum of 20 seconds. So not bad, not bad. So I should be using that very often, I guess. Basically every time it's up. And then for the Harvester's Edict, apparently I want the orbs that spawn to go into the enemies, and it'll do damage to them instead of picking up the mastery buff, because I guess the mastery buff isn't very good.
5.
I'll pop cooldowns on this first pull, that way the DPS can do it all with less.
Potion is ready.
And then you notice it's back up in 40 seconds. Okay, that's awesome. This guy said he likes playing with Brew. This is what I was saying at the start of the video, is that like I wanted to play with like warriors and like hunters and stuff like that this season. Because last season all I ever played with like the boomies and the unholy DKs, and on my arcane mage, Vengeance Demon Hunter, you know. So it's cool to experience something different, because different classes like pull dungeons different ways, it feels like, you know. Or at least they probably should, because they play in different ways, you know. And I wanted to kind of experiment with that. And honestly, like I want to copy strats from people, because like and figure out what they're doing and what makes sense. But I also kind of want to come up with some of my own stuff. You know, I want to be able to cook and like play it by ear, come up with my own routes, because I think that's part of like the fun of tanking. I think that like you get to get creative with things, and you get to kind of take your group on like a journey a lot of the times, is the way I think about it. You know, like, oh, we're gonna go over here and then we're gonna go over here. You know, I think it's fun. You know. Especially in the dungeon pool right now, there are so many dungeons that you can be super creative with. Ara Kara, you have the Dawnbreaker, you have places like Floodgate, Halls of Atonement. There's like so many packs that you can pull in these dungeons, and like running the same boring route all of the time, I think it's just like kind of a waste, you know? Like if you ever find like Mythic Plus is boring, that might be part of the reason why. Maybe you're doing the exact same thing every single time, right? I don't actually know what this little ox dude does. I gotta figure that out. I think that he is like a defensive. I think he gives me a little bit of damage. Actually, I have no idea. So this is a route I already have planned here that we're gonna end up doing, just because I didn't do research into it. I didn't expect to make some friends this early in the series. You know, I just kind of hopped in, and then immediately people were like, "Dude, your route is dope." I guess if you want to make friends, run Kiro's routes. But like, aside from that, like, yeah, we'll be ripping a route that I stole. I think I got it just from Keystone Guru or whatever it is. Oh, this guy's in danger. Maybe he can help him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Potion is ready.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
I'm trying to find this emissary in here, but ugh. My staggers just full the whole freaking time. It's these tacticians. When they're enraged, they really like mess you up.
Potion is ready.
We're actually ahead on time right here, so we're gonna have to do another pull or two before we do our lust pull, which is totally okay. Fine.
Potion is ready.
Sidestep.
Dude, that guy's not even a real mob.
Sidestep.
Oops.
Sidestep.
Like, there wasn't even a real mob just channeling on him over there. I was like, what the fuck, man? This dungeon's so annoying sometimes.
Sidestep.
Potion is ready. Potion is ready.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
I forgot to pop my cooldowns as I landed, so my damage is way lower, but that's okay.
Sidestep.
So I think when I land, what I want to do is I want to ring a piece that caster in when I do that in the future. Because he's always standing out there just like casting on people, which is super annoying.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
And I think this gets me to the exact percentage that I need. I think.
Sidestep. Sidestep.
Dude, I'm cranking. Let's go. Oh, man.
Slam.
I'm going to try to hit them with this Harvester's Orb right there.
Slam.
I gotta fix these bars. They're kind of overlapping with stuff, which is really annoying. This Paladin never goes Zoom, which is sick, because it just lets us keep going.
Potion is ready.
I know there's some tech where you can like land and you can hit the little cocoon to like charge things up. I do that on my Ellie Shaman. I don't think it'll do anything for Brew. I know that my little Fist of Fury or whatever, I punch a billion times. I think there's actually a Windwalker Fist of Fury. It's not that. But the little thing, I don't know. I feel like there's some things that you can kind of like farm, like procs, so you can like build them up. But I don't actually know how those work really. So I haven't played enough Brew to know that. We just blew through this dungeon. We have 3 minutes left. That's crazy. Dude, I got a little compliment. He told me I play well. He didn't just tell me I play well. He said, you play great. We'll take that, you know, any day of the week.
5, 4.
So this one's kind of funky. I don't have a route for this one. I do know that Warrior is target
Potion
capped.
is ready.
So I may opt to do a little bit of a smaller pull here at the start and just grab these guys maybe. There's a lot of kicks that are potentially problems if we pull too much here too. So we'll just do all this and then hopefully done here. I can touch a death because we don't have the emissary on this level. And then we could pull these guys in. Oh my god. Okay. Actually, that's kind of convenient because I want these guys too. A lot of casts are going off here. I don't know exactly how to handle these pulls. It seems like everybody normally just pulls all of them. I am looking for a kick here on the Shell Crusher. You know what? I bet I could have pulled them over here and then ROP like right there if they try to run and pull other mobs, and I bet that would be actually pretty efficient. Is it like in a choke point? Oh, that's cool. If you just stop that cast, then it doesn't go off. They're doing really good jobs on these stops. I am not, but they're crushing it.
Potion is ready.
Yeah, I have no idea how to pull this dungeon. I'm kind of just trying my best. These guys are owning though. Let us in! Let us in! You can mount during that animation, which is kind of cool.
Potion is ready.
I really should set up a focus macro if I'm going to keep doing this. This character. I haven't used him on tanks, but like that seems kind of troll. I feel like tanks probably kick more than most people, so just having a focus macro set up is kind of nice. This boss fight's kind of tough. You want to kind of like lead the breath a little bit. Otherwise, it'll end up missing. Really annoying. Like, because the dudes will run out of it, which kind of sucks. So, like, right here, you notice these guys are on the left. These guys are kind of on the edge of it, but I want to make sure that those guys get hit. So I'm going to kind of lead the breath. I do know that much. I did this on hard mode the first week as a Vengeance Demon Hunter, and it was like, having to hit them twice is crazy. Hitting them once is doable. Hitting them twice is really tough. You need to have some sort of a route. Demon Hunter was actually like has very good control on it, and I'm gonna probably have to use like Ring of Peace here on this next set because this one can get kind of tough. Notice these guys are gonna kind of like run out of it, so I'm gonna Ring of Peace something like that, and then that way they'll get knocked into it and die. But like, yeah, if you don't have utility like that, like we tried to do it on a prop paladin, and it was like a lot more difficult because like the prop paladin can't like run out and blinding light them, you know, like that doesn't work. I'm gonna aim it over here. That way they can get uptime if they need. Can we just kill boss here? So almost got all of them. We let one guy get out. That's okay. Now, I kind of like this double pull on Brew, specifically because I can touch a death those pulsar things. I can't get this next one, but I got the one right there, and I think that makes it a little bit cleaner. We're getting another pulsar right here. I'm just going to make sure I stay alive here with my CD. Now I am going to focus down the Ritualist right here, if I can. I don't know how much prio damage I have, but just to make sure that they die, just because these guys are the scary ones. I can get maybe one of these? Yeah, nice. Now the accomplices are kind of scary for me, but the moment I get one of these guys dead, or two of these guys maybe one, we can roll into the next pack over here, I think. The play. Let's get them both dead, and then we'll go in. And you notice my stagger is very full right here. So those accomplices are actually rather scary, but...
Potion is ready.
And we have CDs for this next pack here. So let's grab this guy real fast.
Potion is ready.
Make sure that he stays on me with a little taunty boy.
Potion is ready.
And it does have +2 potential. I think this fight is longer than 4 minutes, though. It's a very long fight. We're going to rip a stun here to keep... Oh, man, they jumped early. That's interesting. We'll probably get another set of explosions, but we're doing pretty good here. My leg sweep is still not up, but that's okay. Get that kick. Yeah, I think this boss fight's too long, actually, to +2 or right now, but well, you probably need like 5-ish minutes, I guess. Oh, that's kind of annoying that we got a collapsing star. Shouldn't matter too much, but skills here top up. Well, we're not going to +2 it now. But I don't think we were going to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, I think I'm going to leave off on that. I think that we got 3 really awesome dungeons in. We made some new friends. It was super awesome. I had a lot of fun. I know I didn't study up on the other dungeons. I think that's just the reality of Mythic Plus. You're not going to be always studied up for every single key that you're running. But we got a good Ara Kara in. We got a good Dawnbreaker in. A good Gambit right there. I do intend to play some dungeons outside of the video. So if you guys want to check those out, be sure to check me out on Twitch. I'll be doing a lot of those live there. And other than that, if you guys like learning with me, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.